Commission, which has obtained a preservation order against travel agency Priority Escapes. And its sole director, Francois Swart, an arrest warrant has been issued for Swart, who is believed to be in hiding. The Commission's probe has found evidence that the agency has scammed a number of consumers, deceiving them into believing that their trips to the Maldives have been booked and paid for. I'm now joined by National Consumer Commission Secretary Joseph Selolo. A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. A lot of people being scammed, losing their money, believing that they may be going to a trip to the Maldives, only to find that it's not going to happen. What did you find as you investigated this matter?
Good morning to you and good morning to the viewers. So the Commission did receive complaints, as you adequately stated it in your introduction. And then we went about investigating, and indeed we found that consumers would then pay funds to Priority Escapes in the belief that they are booking their holiday, and they would then receive confirmations of flights, connections, and the hotel and activities, only to be advised shortly before their trips that Priority Escapes has some financial issues and therefore the trips won't happen. That of its own is not a problem, but the problem starts when consumers are then not refunded, where the law requires that they be refunded together with interest from the date that they paid to the date that they receive the full refund.
In terms of the modus operandi, so to speak, how have potential holiday goers lured to this agency?
Yeah, the agency used a variety of platforms, your social media as well as a website where they advertised their trips. They had beautiful pictures of people who had gone on those holidays. They had people specifically, I don't know if it's these things that are called paid partnerships, but they also had people who were also advertising the services of the agency. So generally consumers would have seen the advertisements on various social media platforms.
So in terms of the action that you've since taken, we understand that the sole director of the company, Francois Swart, is believed to be in hiding. What processes have taken place to try and, have this matter play out in court and also find him?
All right. So our processes do not go to the traditional courts. Our processes, they go to the National Consumer Tribunal, which is a specialized court for consumer issues. Now, once we investigate and we complete our investigation, we then have to prepare our referral papers and serve those papers on a respondent, being Priority Escapes and Francois Swart in this case. Unfortunately, we have been unable to locate him as much as other law enforcement agencies have not been able to. But we are working together to try and locate him so that we can serve and the process goes forward to the tribunal and let them make their judgment, which we strongly believe it will be in our favor and by extension in favor of the consumers.
I understand that there are other agencies that you've red flagged and trying to get to the bottom of, how people may have lost their monies and also being duped into believing that they're going on holiday.
Indeed, there's two agencies, Travel Plug and the other one, the name escapes me now, but the modus is the same. They all advertise trips, holiday destinations to these exotic places, and consumers pay. The modus is the same. They advertise on social media and very beautiful pictures if you were to see them, and consumers pay. And in the one case, the director tells the consumers that they've been involved in an accident and therefore the director themselves have been involved in an accident, therefore the trip cannot happen. Now, this person that is not a pilot, does not own a plane. It's not like they'll be the one piloting the plane to the area. But for some reason, then they say your trip is now cancelled. Again, no refund. In the case of Travel Plug, at the last minute, consumers received WhatsApp messages to the effect that the trip cannot cancel. We've experienced unforeseen financial issues. But the modus is the same. It appears as if the whole intention is just to scam consumers out of their hard-earned cash.
What are the red flags? What should people be looking out for as they, are about to make a decision, looking at the beautiful pictures and, what are the signs that show that perhaps this is not real, and what should they be looking for?
It's really difficult because there are some people who actually went on holiday. But our advice would be for consumers to do a little bit of research about the entity, check its history, check how long it's been in business, check reviews, because there were a number of reviews where people were already complaining about these entities. So the best advice we can give is that do a little bit of research, because you are your first line of defense. Do a little bit of research, try to research the entity, how long has it been around, if there are any complaints about that entity. That might be of great assistance.
And in terms of the monies that people have lost, I mean, how much are we talking about here? That people have come to you with the complaints to say, this is the amount of money I've lost, and this is what I'm hoping to get back. Is that also your space to ensure that they do get a refund and those behind this get arrested by law enforcement agencies?
All right. So when it comes to the quantum of the amount lost, it's quite difficult to estimate because we don't have the total number of people that lost money having complained. So when each one complained, they will tell you that, let's use the case of Priority Escapes, it varies. Some would say I paid 37,000, some would say I paid 20,000. There is another one who says I paid 150, depending on who you were planning to take on holiday. So it has not been easy to quantify because we don't have the global number or the total number of people who lost the money. But it seems to be quite substantial. When you look at other factors, it seems to be quite substantial. For example, the persons who lodged criminal charges are not necessarily the persons who lodged complaints with us, and the complaints are still coming in, so that will still have to be quantified. Now, our priority was to try and preserve any amount that we may still find in the accounts belonging to Priority Escapes. That we have done. At this stage, we will not disclose the amount we have found because we still need to finalize the process and have a liquidator appointed to effect the refunds to consumers who will be able to prove their claims. However, the amount we found, it's definitely paltry when compared to what we believe may have been the losses. So we're therefore talking about a situation where consumers will be refunded rands to the cents. So you will not necessarily receive the rand that you paid. You will receive cents to the rand. So you won't receive the actual amount. They will be sharing whatever we may have recovered. Now, when it comes to the criminal charges, that's what the various SAPS police stations are busy with. They will then, once they finalize the investigations, we are aware that there is a warrant of arrest issued, and that will then be the criminal process that looks into the fraud, and if it's proven, that's where maybe a jail time may be imposed by the sentencing court.
Would you say that such incidents are a common occurrence, or perhaps a very disturbing growing trend?
It is indeed a growing trend because we are starting to see a trickle of complaints around people saying, I saw an advertisement on Facebook for this travel and I did not receive that travel. But it also is a growing trend in as far as online transactions are proving to not be so reliable. So it's not only the holiday scams, but scams in general. Online seems to be a dangerous place.
Very well. Thank you so much for that. National Consumer Commissioner Secretary Joseph Selolo sending out a word of caution against those who may be looking to book for various holiday destinations to ensure that you scrutinize the details of the specified agency that you're working with. A lot of people being duped into believing that they're going to a certain holiday destination only to find that they've been scammed. Still to come.